You did it with the best intentions when you're a very, very smart guy, and we both know that you were trying to play clever buggers.
It's Monday morning and we're in the yard. We're breaking up all of the blocks and preparing them for processing. We had a train booked for today, but the train is cancelled. But we are still preparing for a train because we believe it's going to come in the Monday after. Now, there's some material in the far corner which has been stockpiled. We're dotting lumps of non-hazardous material up and down the train line to make it easier for the LH60 when the train actually comes in. Speaking of the LH60, I've been having a close look around it. Sooner or later, I think it's going to be time to pull the wrap off. Over time, it's had a couple of collisions when it's been working in very tight spaces. And I'm not exactly going to re-wrap the back of the machine. I think that we're going to have the machine in its intended colour of yellow rather than the black, which has served us so well for so many years. On another note, happy St. Patrick's Day. Matani's not going to be in today. He'll be enjoying all the festivities. But we have plenty to do in the yard. We're going to continue processing and moving all the material. We may not be running lorries at the moment, but we still have a number of tyre challenges. If you can imagine, tyre technicians in today. We have a puncture on one of the Amaroks. We have a puncture on the forklift. We have 2 punctures on a shovel, tyre van, and on one of the tippers. And I have no idea how. Anyway, let's get the work started and get them repaired. This is a bead breaker, which separates the tyre bead from the rim by breaking the seal between them. To find out how to change gigantic tyres on plant and machinery, click here to watch a video. There's a video coming soon on how to process material to create recycled aggregates. Isn't that the finest 6F5 you've ever seen in your life? Nice. And now we're going to be heading into Central London to see how the lads are getting on site. In the bathroom, the work on the large format tiles was complete last week. This is the wall in the shower, which has a cutout for a niche. The first tile, which meets the floor, had to be cut precisely to fit into the cutout for the linear drainage grill, the slope floor level in the shower, and the main floor level. The tile which sits above has a cutout for the niche. Once in place, we use our trusty tile leveling system to line up all perfectly. Meanwhile, back at the Ashville yard.
At the end of this month, we need to report to the Environmental Agency on all the material that's come into the yard that's been processed and has gone out. For a very long time, we had to submit nil returns because the material which was coming in was primary and we weren't doing any processing and we weren't loading any trains. Because we've never done it before, I'm a little bit unsure, and I'm going to contact the EA and ask them because I don't want to submit it wrong. But you know, you feel like when you put your head above the parapet, that's when you're going to get one. And I'm not going to be paying a consultant to do it. It's something that we need to learn to do in-house so we can handle it moving forward and we can keep records. So it's going to be a bit tedious, but if I take the easy way and submit it wrong, then they could land in here and give me a big slap on the wrist and think I did it intentionally, because ignorance isn't innocence. So it's best to get it right the first time. So taking the easy route, you know how it works. The road to hell feels like heaven, but the road to heaven feels like hell because it's a lot more difficult. And on the subject to that, someone reached out through someone else earlier, a gentleman who has acted in a way which I never thought they would when we went through our restructuring process and streamlining the business. And they sent me a message through someone else acting like they wanted to do something which was in my benefit. Well, I see you and I see through it. And I understand everybody has their own motives and motivations, but please don't try to pass it off like you're doing it to help me. I'm very honest when I have discussions with people. I say, look, this is what's in it for me, or what's in it for me, but this is what I can do for you. Don't try to slip it under the radar and, urinate in my pocket and tell me it's raining. Like, I can see what's going on, and I'm beyond the point of pointing out that I know what you're doing, but I'm just not going to accept it. And when you want to do something with me moving forward, because you will want to do something with me moving forward, this is a very small industry and the tables can turn extremely quickly. I won't even say no, why I'm not doing it. And you'll never know why. Because if I tell you the truth, I've got to listen to the free argument and all of the conversation of how you didn't mean to do it and how I took it wrong and you did it with the best intentions, when you're a very, very smart guy and we both know that you were trying to play clever buggers. Anyway, hopefully you can read between the lines. That's it for the new Daniel section of Direct Indirects. And that's it for Monday.
Last week you saw us boarding areas after the windows are fitted. Well, now the plastering can begin.
It's Tuesday, I'm not in the yard. I'm in sunny Central London at the Penthouse project. All of the windows are in now. We have one team finishing around the windows in the living room, and in other areas like the kitchen, you can see where we've completely boarded and the plastering is finished. This morning, we plastered 2 areas in the bedroom and in the kitchen on the wall which is shared with the outside terrace. Progress is going extremely well. As I step out onto the terrace, this is the composite decking, which is going to be a fantastic match with the internal flooring to give a feeling of continuity and bringing the outside in and the inside out. And this is the composite material to make the subframe for this. So you'll never ever see this. This is going to be underneath the decking, but this is what's going to hold it all together and give it structure. Look at those lovely bifolds. As the weather improves, we kind of get a sense of how the owner of the property, our client, will enjoy in the summer.
It's lovely out here when the sun shines on you. When you're in the shadow, it's about 5 degrees, but when the sun shines, it's about 14, which is ideal. Once again, look at the lovely windows. It's kind of a replica of sash windows, but the client's not going to have all those problems with expanding and contracting. These are in fact not timber, they are aluminium.
On the opposite wall of our new plaster, we are already applying mist coats. Once this plaster is dry tomorrow, we'll begin to apply the mist coats here.
Here's a lovely before and after. On this side, we have prepared to begin boarding. You can see how we've taped up the insulation, so we have no cold pockets whatsoever. And on this side, you can see what it looks like when it's completely finished and plastered. In one of the bathrooms a few weeks back, I told you about the access panels which we were putting on the side of the bath, but they were going to ensure we had access to all the services under the bath. Well, Chris is working on that now.
Well done, Zayo.
This is the moment of truth, Chris.
Yeah. Actually, this is the...
But we're going to slot, look at that, it's going to slot right into the wall there. Okay.
It looks small, but we don't have any left that kind of piece. If
Okay.
it's broken, we need to order.
If you break it, we have to start all over again. Look at that.
Oh,
Slots.
new tiles.
New tiles. Oh, no, don't say that, Chris. Right, slots in. Perfection. So we're just going to use the silicone and close it up. And what do we think? 3 mil gaps all round?
Actually, on the left and right side, gonna be like 3 mil, but around gonna be left like 1 millimeter.
Okay, 1 mil around
Yeah.
and 3 mil on the ends.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So they were all right. We can use these tiles again.
Yeah, for sure.
Good quality?
Yeah.
Not a problem being too big.
No, not now.
Not now. Okay.
But on day one, worried.
Yeah. We didn't broke anyone. So.
We didn't break one tile.
No.
Or waste one tile.
No. Every. You see, those tiles what you see,
Yeah.
one has handed, one left.
We don't have one tile left in this entire bathroom, so we only had exactly what we needed, and we used every single one. Chris is saying on day one, the lads were a bit,
These tiles are a bit big, getting them upstairs.
but taking the time and measuring 10 times and cutting once and taking our time and seeking perfection, this bathroom is just going to be beautiful when it's finished. The lads have most definitely done me proud. Before coming to site today, I was doing a little bit of brokering, hustling at its finest. We had a job that we priced 4 or 5 months back, and the client came back to us today and they said
We would like to go ahead with this job.
it was 400 tons of one type of material and 400 tons of another. Now, at the moment, we do not have either material in stock. So I called up all of our supply partners and I asked them for delivered rates into the site. Now, one of the materials worked well at a delivered rate and another material didn't work. So I called another supplier I know who actually produces the material. Then I called a company for haulage and I put the two prices together. So the client is going to be happy. They're going to get all of the material, quality material, at the prices we quoted with no price rise for 2025. Our supply partners are going to get some work off us and we're going to make some money out of it. Now, we are going to make a little bit less money than we used to when we ran lorries, but we don't have any of the heartache of running the lorries, of any of the finance, any of the insurance, tyres, any of the wages, the hydraulic hoses, any of the R&M. For the 15-20% less we're making, financially, it's a fantastic decision. So hopefully the train's going out, doing a bit of brokering, producing more material in the yard ourselves, and we're going to have more primary material to collect. You know, don't want to speak too soon, which is what I always do and jinx it, but you know, everything is moving in the right direction. And now I'm leaving site, but of course, in my absence, work continues. We need to prepare the kitchen floor for tiling, which will be a multi-layer build-up. First, we fit 10mm jackboard to the chipboard using 1-inch timber screws and washers. The washers ensure we secure the board in place without screwing through them. The board is fixed on the outer edge on all sides and then down the middle.
Jagboard is made of extruded polystyrene. We always use it when surfaces will be tiled or rendered, as it repels moisture and has great thermal insulation properties. Simultaneously, we're building the steps to the external door with 2x2 timber and 18mm ply. In most areas, we use 1.5-inch screws countersunk, but for the treads, we also use grip fill. This not only increases strength, but ensures the stairs will not creak when walked on. We use acoustic mastic to limit the sound transfer to the walls and stop one of the next layers of self-leveling compound falling in the gaps. Next, we apply a primer to close the pores and increase bonding capability. Then it's the electric underfloor heating mat, which we test to ensure it's working before installing. The matting is only laying areas which are going to be walked on and not under the kitchen units. We unroll and stick it down with this self-adhesive tape. The entire area is the same mat. When we want to change direction, all we do is cut the mesh and not the cable. Now it's a special 2-part mixed self-leveling compound, which main objective is to protect by submerging the underfloor heating cable and create a smooth level surface for tiling. To apply, we use a trowel and spiked aeration roller, which removes any air bubbles. We work our way backwards to the entrance and finish needing to put a few lengths of 2x2 in place to hold down the underfloor heating, as the tape was proving to not be strong enough and it was trying to lift. When installing the tiles, we can compensate for the area where the timber was with additional adhesive. And now I'm in Battersea. I'm working with St John's Ambulance, helping promote a new initiative for people to be a lot more open on sites talking about mental health, because studies have shown that a lot of people in the construction industry are struggling with mental health, but it's just not the thing to do to talk about it openly on site. So these vests and this campaign are an attempt to get people talking more so we can all help each other and try to understand each other a lot more. I'm going to be here for a few hours doing a couple of pictures and interviews, because in my experience, we don't talk about mental health in construction enough, so hopefully we can raise awareness and start some very important conversations. As research has shown that 1/3 of people on construction sites are currently struggling, overwhelmed, or suicidal. We can all work together to create more supportive environments by just having a chat with someone, which can make all the world of difference. And there are now mental health first aid training courses which teach how to spot hidden signs. Click the link in the description to find out more. It's Wednesday and I'm in the yard. I just had a chat with Mumsy because she received an email. Now, my mum works for the British government, the civil service, and they just sent her an email commending her on 40 years of service. And they said she's going to get a certificate in recognition, which she's very proud of. So am I. Discussing wages over the years with my mum, I was fortunate when I went into the adult world that I was able to help my mum and supplement her income, because I never felt that the amount of money she was being paid was adequate for the job she was doing. But in hindsight, now that I look at it, the British government were very, very accommodating with my mum being a single mother in London. They didn't give her any stress when she dropped me to school in the morning. They didn't give her any stress when she left work early to come and collect me from play centre, because I couldn't go straight home when I was super young. I had to go play centre first and then my mum would collect me from there. They didn't give her any stress in the summer holidays when my mum
shipped me down to St. Lucia with her because she didn't want me on the estate through the summer because she thought I'd get in trouble. Can you imagine me getting in trouble? Me, a troublemaker. Imagine that. And I kind of thank the civil service for being so accommodating and working with my mum, because if they didn't, she wouldn't have been able to raise me in the way in which she did. So 40 years of service. Congratulations, Mumsy. On another note, talking about construction projects and working with clients and consultants. If somebody sends you an email stating something or saying that something is going to take place, it is very important that you push back and don't just think you're going to ignore it. Because when you're under contract and you're working on a build project, if somebody repeatedly says something, if they say it just once on an email and you ignore it, they've more or less spoken it into existence. So if there's anything that you're not happy about on a project, or something is said by a consultant or a client, rather than be afraid of the confrontation, you have to pull off the Band-Aid and go back and say, no, this is incorrect, that price is incorrect, this date is incorrect, and try to work to resolve it. Now, I'm not telling you to go back and be rude, but it is essential that you point out anything which is incorrect, because if you don't, it is going to come back to bite you later. Those Daniel 3 words of wisdom and indirects. And speaking of construction projects, we're now going back into central London, where I was yesterday, to see how the lads are getting on.
It's now only the very small intricate tiles which need to be fitted in the bathroom. The first is the inside of the niche, beginning with the 3 sides of the recess. All sides butting up against the shower wall are mitered at 45 degrees and fitted into place. Then the flat facing tile is slotted in, and the top tile of the recess completes the pentagon assembly. Tape and packers are used to hold in place while the adhesive dries to ensure we have the exact same spacing all the way round. Then it's the waist, which is a custom Highline frameless linear grille system. The aim is for the tile within the system to be flush with the rest of the tiles in the area. The build-up required differs in every installation depending on the thickness of the tiles, so risers are provided to accommodate anything from 1mm to 11mm. Our tiles are 12mm and require a 5mm build-up, so we use the risers and stainless steel screws required. The bottom level is stainless steel, the risers composite, and the top stainless steel where the tile is fitted. Once fitted, while the adhesive dries, 6mm packers are used to hold in place and achieve symmetry for the water waste opening. We like that. Little collection. 2 ton of recycled 6F5. Keep them coming. In it, Si? Give us a wave. Where are you? I can't see you. How many more, Si?
60, 70 every day.
Yeah, another 60 or 70 of those collections a day. We could cope with that. Also send in the 8-wheel tippers and the grabs and the 4-wheel tippers. Nice. We've been at this monstrosity up the top here trying to break it away. You know what a breaker's here? I will try and break every single piece of concrete there is so we can process it. George, I'm not gonna lie, I'm liking this scrap.
It's heavy, lot of metal.
It's heavy, yeah, we like nice. We like that. Is all of this come from here?
Yeah,
Go on, Chicken George.
yeah.
When we remove this, it's gonna give us that bit more usable space. And this is something that would need to be removed when we start concreting anyway. So while we got the breaker, you might as well take advantage of it, break it up, take this material for processing, scrap in the bin, a little bit of pocket change. Nice. Very much enjoying it. All right, George, I'll stop getting in your way and let you carry on. That's where we normally have the 40-yard bins. We pulled them out the way next to the topsoil, opposite the pile of 6F5. We were saving this train track, but we are not going to be using it. So we've pulled it out from round the back and we're breaking the sleepers off one by one. The reason we're breaking the sleepers off is because we want to put all of the steel in the scrap bin, and these rails are too long for transportation, so we're going to take them and move them over to the 6F5 pile on the floor so they're out of the way, they're not a trip hazard. And when my townie is back in next week, he's going to get the burning gear and cut them in half so we can put them onto a lorry. At the moment, it's all about getting rid of anything I'm just holding on to, all of the messing about, all of the stuff we're just storing to do fun stuff with in the future. Forget all of that. We need to make as much space as possible and generate as much revenue as possible. And we're going to be concreting soon. And imagine moving loads of kit, what you're not going to keep here, so you can concrete there. Then you pick it up and then you put it back and then you concrete that area. So that we don't want to do any quadruple handling. Double handling, triple handling, that's an Ashville special, but not quadruple.
Thursday, and I'm in the yard, and the concrete block up the top has been broken to pieces, and the scrap is in the scrap bin. Next, we're going to start on the track, removing it from the wooden sleepers. Ooh, there's a lot of scrap there. Start looking at loading shovels again. One is a 2015 and one's a 2016. We've had them for about 5-6 years. The 586 is on 10,000 odd hours. The 566 is on 8,000 hours. It needs new tires, it needs a cutting edge. And the last time I had a problem with one of the shovels, the transmission cost me 30 grand to fix. So they have served us well, but it is time that we part company. For me, we're throwing good money after bad if we invest any more in the shovels. So I'm speaking to manufacturers and we're going to be demoing some kit. We did demo in the past, but since then time has moved on and all of the manufacturers have got new ranges which we'd like to try. Now I don't think a week is enough time to know if a bit of kit is suitable for you. I need 2 or 3. But let's see what some of the manufacturers say. And we're not going to go for 2 shovels in the beginning. What happens is the boys just park up one and use the other one, and they only use one of them if the other one is down. The best thing to do is just have one full-size, top spec, construction spec, over-specified, so you can knock the out of it and just use one. And if it's down, ensure that you've got manufacturer R&M so they can be in the yard as soon as possible to fix it. I was talking to Foxy about it a couple of weeks back, and Foxy was saying to me that
in one of their yards, they have a shovel that is up and down day and night, and in about 2.5-3 years, they put 10,000 hours on it.
Because they are utilizing one shovel, which is what we need to start doing, that be efficient and have savings, because having 2 shovels as a luxury and paying for them on a monthly basis while you're trying to complete your purchase for you to own them is a bit of a waste. But we have learned from the mistakes of the past. The sun is shining and there is a positive mindset in the yard.
Time to remove the decking on the terrace. The decking itself is composite and old school. Unlike new composite decking, which is hollow internally, this is solid at its core. We unscrew where we can, but where it's not possible, use a crowbar. The structure beneath is a 3x2 timber. We unscrew the noggins, then dismantle. All this has to be done very gently to ensure we do not puncture or damage the membrane, of which we have discovered two. There's a standard roof membrane, as this apartment was retrospectively added years after this building was complete, and a geotextile membrane that we would normally use under decking in a garden. Once all is removed, we clean and hoover, then inspect to prepare for our new decking structure. All is well and we'll begin the new structure work soon, but for now, we lay a few lengths of composite to ensure the wind doesn't take our geotextile membrane to sail away, sail away, sail away. It's Friday and we're in the yard. It's always a good day when multiple parties are coming in and collecting type 1. We have a couple of 100-ton going out and we have some 6F5. Found this on the floor, gonna put it in the scrap bin. And we have a booking for Monday with 20 loads of 6F5. A company are coming in to collect that also. So everything is moving in the right direction. Let's get some of them lorries loaded. Couple of lads who are collecting are on break. Now in some sites, they don't let drivers take breaks, but we have plenty of room, so I do not mind, especially seeing as they've been flat out today. And I was having a think earlier about our lorries being sold and looking at them next to the third-party ones which are coming in. And I was having a conversation with a friend of mine who runs lorries, and he was saying,
He went, I don't know what the big deal is, like why you made a video and everything.
I said, what do you mean? He said,
Everyone sells lorries.
he said,
If we get a contract and we have work for 3 or 4 years, we buy lorries, and if we're not busy after, we just get rid of them. Why would we keep lorries when we weren't busy?
call me like a bit of a drama queen and
So
say,
you're going on, oh, you're selling lorries, oh, you're so sad. He said, that's normal. People buy and sell lorries every day of the week.
and I thought about it, and he's right. I guess it's because I was somewhat emotionally attached to lorries, and it was my first time going through that process. Anyway, on another note, the refurbishment project. We had the pool house rejected, but we are going back to planning and we're gonna have a pre-app. So we have the first version of the new proposed plan, which I've shared with the client. Now we've put dimensions on this plan so the client can get an idea of space. Now this is 20% smaller than the previous submission. So we're waiting for the client to give us some feedback. We may make a couple of changes and then we're gonna pay the £1,200 required to have a face-to-face pre-application meeting with the council. And we are then gonna get submitted and try and get that booked into the diary. I'm on a roll here. I've started breaking up the concrete sleepers as well. Some of them I don't think we're going to use, and you can't put a concrete sleeper through a crusher because it will completely destroy it. So while we got the breakup, we're breaking apart all of them. We're taking out the steel. The steel is going in our very full and heavy scrap bin, and then the concrete can go for processing. I have an updated site map for the yard with everything mapped out. As we kept moving bits around, we hadn't produced a new one, but with the trains coming in and so many third parties, we of course, for health and safety reasons, need to have an updated site map which lays everything out with fire assembly points, letting people know where first aid kits are, and where they need to report to when they visit the yard, where they can park. And here it is. I mean, it's pretty simple, but it was something that needed to be done, and I'm happy it is. And now, let's head into Central London, see how the lads are getting on. The kitchen's ready for tiling. First, we bring in one tile and examine whether it has any arrows on the back, which would give us guidance on the direction of laying the tile in relation to other tiles. But we haven't got any, so we're going to work this out on our own. We dry fit one tile first, measure and calculate the best way to distribute the tiles in the space, and then mark up the rest of the floor with our planned layout. The client selected a large format tile, so we need to utilize the space to show this off. Our thinking is one full tile as soon as you enter the room, then cross-reference the kitchen drawings to ensure we have full tiles evenly spaced between the cabinets on both sides, and the grout lines run exactly parallel with the plinth. Each and every tile is then dry fit into place. We use suction cups with handles to increase our control when maneuvering. All the tiles can then be removed and full installation can begin. Our starting point is the full tile as soon as you enter the room. We apply adhesive to both the back of the tile and floor evenly, then use lasers and spirit levels to ensure all is even. It takes 24 hours for the adhesive to dry, so we need to ensure we lay in a format which means we do not need to walk on tiles which have just been laid for access until tomorrow. Are we finished over there?
Yeah, that is finished, yeah.
Okay.
And I didn't know it exactly where to put that bin, so you told me you want to put it here or there.
Can you move the bins?
Yeah, but I need to change it to put it back.
Just keep breaking that. There was a huge fire last night at a substation in Hayes, and as a result, Heathrow Airport is completely closed today. I think it's something like 1,400 flights got cancelled. Everything is in disarray. I can imagine a number of people had important family or business trips, which is very unfortunate. We are fortunate to actually have power because most of the area doesn't have any electricity at all. Our track is ready. We can bring the van and the burning gear over here and we can begin to put this into more manageable sizes next week when Matowny's back in. And now the company that provided us with the scrap bin are coming to exchange it for us. And I wonder how much it's gonna weigh. Do we have any tyres up there anymore? What about the super singles and the 315s for the volumetric? Are they now all there? How many more have you got to break?
4 and 5.
Are you going to be finished breaking those up today, those 5? What about all the bits that were here, the blocks that were here? Finish those ones, George. We'll go from there. Thank you. It's Saturday. We're in the yard. Just had a team meeting. We're just going to continue as we're going. I just wanted to know if the boys had any concerns, how we're doing for fuel, how we're doing on grease, you know, anything at all that I can do to assist, and just finding out what the latest is on the ground, boots on the ground, in case there's anything that I need to do to make the boys' life easier or to make the processing go smoother.
We've got some people coming in to have a look at some tippers now. That is another tipper gone. When that was being looked at, Simon kind of noticed that the inside of some of the other tippers' cabs were not looking too clean. So now we're going to take some time. Not that it's going to make a difference to the value of the lorry, but it's just nice when somebody comes to look at it, like they can see that the lorry's been looked after. Some of the tippers were absolutely spotless inside. The drivers who were using them previously looked after them, because a lot of drivers called the cab of the lorry their office because they got to sit in there all day. And others were like a pigsty and they were disgusting. So those are the ones that we're going to give some attention to and clean. But just as a caveat, the dirt in some of the tippers is because the same driver wasn't in it every day. And when you've got a different driver in a lorry every day, when for MOTs or breakdowns or for whatever reason, more often than not, no one's actually got responsibility for keeping the lorry clean. So it does get a bit dirty because every time someone gets in, they add a little bit more and say,
well, it's not my lorry.
Or they've got no time to clean it because they've just done a day's work and then jumped out of it. So let's give one of the cabs a bit of a clean. You know, I like to level with you. So on this fine Saturday morning, where the sun isn't shining too much, but it's not cold, I'm going to level with you. I did think we were going to keep one or two of the tippers, but they're selling so well, I don't think I'm going to be like wrestling anybody to keep hold of them. So we're out of 19 tippers, we're now down to 5. Don't watch what's in the yard, because people just use us for storage. They haven't collected some of them yet. We've been building up in the past weeks the 295s you see over there and the 8 rims. We're gonna put some more 295s on them. But now, I think the only things we're gonna end up keeping are the volumetric, what we're gonna put the new engine in, and probably one other volumetric, because we're gonna need it in the yard to do the concrete in for the time being. So this section over here, this is the 315s and the 385s. The tires, which are the steers and the rears on the volumetric, which need to be very good quality because the lorry is very heavy, especially when it's gonna start running around in here on all the bumps. It's a little bit easier on the lorry on the road. So everything we put here, we're probably gonna go through all of these and we'll probably take a couple of the 295 off the rims. So we have as many 315s and 385s as possible ready, the best quality ones we have, and we'll probably store them over there and then move the 295s over here. A while back in Weekly, when we had a bet between Frighty Meds and myself about how many subscribers the personal channel would get in 28 days, I lost. And it was requested that I do a skydive. Now, I remember where I was when I said it, because I was sitting there when I said it. I was with the sticker man. We were sat in the car. The trouble is, no one will let me. I've even contacted skydiving places in other countries, and I'm far too heavy. I was told earlier, 100 kilos. Now, at my best, in 2023, just before my second shoulder operation, I was at 118. That's like that's like, you know what I mean? That's probably, I hadn't had a drink of water yet that day. And they want you to weigh 100 kilos. I don't stand a chance. And speaking of which, the personal channel, the reason why I didn't get a chance to do any of the videos yet is because what we were going through and our restructure. The whole thing had been going on previous to that for a couple of months. So I didn't have time to film anything for the personal channel, but it looks like I'm going to have some more time to do bits like that. And I've got a couple of personal things which I want to do, like my receding hairline
And those are going to be covered on my personal channel because I really don't think that anybody would want to see it on the Ashville channel. It's been a good and productive week. And I feel like I'm in a good place mentally. And that's it for Ashville Weekly, episode 233. Click here for the Ashville website. Click here to subscribe to our channel. Click down here for an Ashville video you may not have seen before. And click down here for last week's episode, which was number 232. Sado. How's it going? Yeah?